Hello there, everyone. This is lavoncason here, back at it again with another YouTube video. And Shigeru Miyamoto talks about future Switch plans, so let's get into this article as you guys will be seeing here right now. I really think it's really important to reduce workload and streamline development in this regard. We create the perfect environment. The perfect environment he's referring to is the one where developers can reach a wider base of players by making games for both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 simultaneously. There are people who have multiple Nintendo consoles at home, Miyamoto explains. Those who want to play on high-performance hardware use the Switch 2, and games can be developed specifically for that console. Nintendo wants to offer hardware capable of running high-performance games, but for those who don't need the extra power, they can target both generations at once thanks to the shared hardware architecture. In a few years, there will come a time when this is the norm. Miyamoto says Nintendo is planning for a situation where a new market emerges. We can create different games without asking if game sales for the new console will compete with the old. I think that it will be the best scenario. Nintendo hopes to offer developers two options: reach a wider player base by releasing on both consoles, or take the greater power of the Switch 2. Alright, so now that I read the article, now it's time to give my thoughts. Pretty much is that Nintendo has still been releasing games in 2026 for the Nintendo Switch, but they have been niche, smaller games such as Rhythm Heaven Groove and Tamagotchi Life. And I can still see Nintendo doing that, releasing their smaller titles on the Nintendo Switch. And when you play them on the Nintendo Switch 2, because of backwards compatibility, they'll be able to make it to where it would be 1080p at handheld mode, or be at like 1440p or 4K in dock mode if you play that Switch 1 game on the Switch 2. I still think Switch 1 will be around even in the 2030s because of the whole RAM situation. And plus, the Nintendo Switch Lite is the cheapest way to get into the Switch ecosystem. So let's say if Nintendo does release a Nintendo Switch 2 Lite, that'll probably be at like what, $350? Probably $400 most likely. And not everybody is comfortable with spending $400 on a Nintendo system like that. So the Nintendo Switch is still going to be around. It'll still get games such as, ports and remasters and, 2D indie games and smaller projects from Nintendo that doesn't need all of the 3 teraflops from the Nintendo Switch 2. You'll be able to play all those Switch 1 games on the Switch 2 because of the fact that Switch 2 is backwards compatible. How do you guys feel about Nintendo releasing smaller games on the Nintendo Switch? And how do you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch that came out in 2017 still being supported into the 2030s? Let me know in the comment section below this YouTube video. This is lavoncason signing out, and peace, and thanks for watching. Bye.